Okay, so remember the first thing that we did here with our table was we wanted to make sure that we are not messing with the original data. So what we need to do is we need to alter table. Then I need to name the table. Alter table, building inspection permit. We want to add column. And then I need to name the column and then say what I want in it. So permit fee 2. And what I want this to house, I'm just going to say a float. So let's go ahead and run that. Yes, we have no arguments from SQL. That's always good. Okay. So same as before, right? Like we can go and set this. So let me just do a quick select statement and let's look at permit fee and permit fee 2 from limit 50. Okay, so this should be easy, right? Like I can set this permit fee or set this column here and just say I want this row equal to that row, right? Update, because it's an update, I do not need to say table. Say update permits, set permit fee 2 equal to permit fee, right? This should work, shouldn't it? No, what's happening here? And so let's look at our error. Column permit fee 2 is of type double precision, but expression is of type text. So what's the problem here? What is happening? I mean, shouldn't it be smart enough to know that, you know, it looks like a number? Shouldn't it just make the conversion on its own? Okay. So, after banging my head against the wall for a couple of minutes when I first tried this, what occurred to me is that this number symbol was really the problem. It really doesn't know what to do with this, and so we need a function, just like we needed a toDate function, we need a function that will give it something, give it the context of how it changes it to a number. And so, searching the internet, I found such a function. And let us take a look here. Well, actually I regret that now because I will need some of those again. Because the first thing we want to do is test and see if our function appears to be working. So let's select permit fee. And here's the function that I found. And let me go ahead and type this out, and then I will walk you through what this function does. So we have permit fee length permit fee subtract 1 there we go from BI permits. Let's go ahead and do our limit of 50 again. And let's go. So what I did here is I said I wanted the characters of this text field. So permit fee is a text field. And I wanted characters starting from the right. And then give me the number that is the entire length of this field minus 1. So let's work this back here. So the length of permit fee, so let's look at our first column, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I said starting from the right, I want length minus 1. So I want 6. So it started from the right of the column and said give me 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so it gave me back this text information here. Okay, so this function is doing what I wanted to do because this is easier for it to understand as text without that money signed in there. And you can imagine that can throw things off. You know, I first was like, you know, the computer should know what is meant by this. But if you think about it, there are some currencies that are not base 10. And so if it's not base 10, then this has an entirely different meaning when you see a decimal point. So it's really smart that SQL says, hey, I don't understand what you're asking of me. Be more specific. And that's what we are doing here. We are being more specific. Okay. So let's see. What we want when we are changing the data type of a column, what we are doing is something called a cast. And that means that we want to take this text and then save it as a number. And so that is done with something called a cast function. And again, this was just Googling PostgreSQL, change text column to numeric, and that's what gave me this function. It was that, a little bit of hitting my head against the wall to try to get it to work. You will need that. It is good that I've always been called hard-headed throughout my life because you need to be a little hard-headed sometimes and continue trying to make it work. So let's see. We want to update, right? So update, then I need to name my table, update, building inspection permit. And so the new column that I have to mess around with is permit fee 2. And I want to set permit fee 2 equal to, now I originally tried this and said, now it looks better, would it work? And I was about to say of course, but of course it wouldn't work, but I didn't know that until I tried. And so it doesn't, and we need that cast function that I was talking about. And so the cast function is pretty easy. It says cast, and then like all functions and PostgreSQL, we have these parentheses. And so this is my input. Cast this input as, and I just said float, and then I close that function off, put that there. Oh, what happened, what happened, what happened? Okay, so let's see, update table. I want permit fee 2. It says there's an error near, it says the error is near here, but that's not what the error is. The error is I did not put my update function correctly. So I just said, update the table, and then said this is equal to that. What I really needed is I needed a little bit more information and tell it to set permit fee 2 equal to cast of right permit fee dash, and we saw this part previously, and so we want to save that as a float. Will you be not mad at me? Oh, that's a good sign. There we go. So it accepted that. And so let's take a look at it. Select permit fee. And let's look at permit fee 2 from building inspection permits. There we go. Building inspection permits. And let's limit it to 50 again. See what happens. Okay. So this looks promising. Yeah, that all looks promising. These are now a numeric value, which means that I can do stuff like average, which I couldn't do with this text value. So we are making progress.